So today I have a guest with me again, and some of you may recognize this guest because he is somewhat of an ace YouTuber celebrity.
Celebrity, I love that.
In terms of ace YouTubers, you're like royalty. So
Yeah. I've been
there aren't
so
there aren't
long,
many.
I forget how long I've been making videos and content on it for like 4.5 years now, and to think that when I
Yeah,
look back at some of the stuff that I've made in 2015 doesn't even sound that long ago, but to think that I started making them in June, July 2015 is scary, really scary to think.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, why don't you just give a quick introduction to yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so I used to be Cookie Monsterr on YouTube, but I recently changed my name due to a lot of people not liking that name or couldn't find me when I had that name because I spelt it really weirdly, so it just never came up when people searched it, which I completely understood, and it was a stupid name. I don't know where I ever had it, so I've changed it to just Cook-E now, which is where you can find me. But my real name is Alex. I'm from England. Yeah, I've been making videos on asexuality, my experiences on it, and asexuality in general for the past 4.5 years. I've made like 130 odd videos on it. And people probably get bored of me, which is why I lose subscribers. But no, yeah. So if you don't know me, that's who I am pretty much.
Yeah, and definitely check out Alex's videos if you get a chance. I'll leave a link to stuff in the description. I normally get that wrong. When I say links in the description, I normally say like link in the link or description in the link.
Description in the description.
Yeah. But yeah, today we're just gonna chat a bit about asexuality, and especially because we both have non-A romantic orientations. So we're both romantic asexuals. I could have phrased this better.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd talk about that for a bit. So yeah, first, like obviously I'm homo-romantic asexual, but how do you identify?
I'm heteroromantic, so somewhat the opposite, I guess. It's
Yeah.
a nice thing to have that sort of contrast, but also a lot of similarities as well. I think that's why this video would be quite good because you get an insight of two different sides, but then also like, look at the homo-romantic, how that differs to heteroromantic as well, whilst seeing the similarities as well. I think it's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think aromantic is the like most common romantic orientation amongst asexuals. Um, so I haven't had anyone on before who's a straight ace. So
I feel honoured.
I haven't had that many.
It's surprising
Yes,
because
anyway.
you'd think that something like that, that would perhaps be more common, I would say.
Yeah, I guess maybe if you're both aromantic and asexual, maybe you're more likely to find out about it because you don't want anything,
True.
which is
Yeah.
less bizarre than I still want to date people. But yeah, we'll get onto that hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get onto that.
We're like doing a preamble and answering all the questions already.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. I tend to just blabber a lot. Cool. So I guess to start off, when did you first find out about asexuality?
I first found out about asexuality when I was about 15, 16 years old. I basically, it was through searching it up. Like, I just don't like sex. It was when sort of my peers and friends at school sort of like started telling me about sex and masturbation and things like that, and stuff that I just never had an urge to do. I never, looked at a girl or looked at a guy and thought, I want to have sex with them at all. I never felt that way. So I searched up online, I'm 16 years old. I don't like sex. Is there anything wrong with me? And one of the first links at the top was Avon. So the asexuality visibility, basically. And, I clicked on that and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is me, Yeah, I suddenly related to a term that I'd never heard of before. But it was really reassuring. But at the same time, it was sort of like, what does this mean? Does this mean I'll never like sex? A lot of people told me that I'd be like a late bloomer and it would just come. But seeing this definition define me so well, I felt like, that is me and that's how I'm going to be. And, 7 years later, still feel the exact same way, really.
Yeah, definitely. That's quite similar to me actually, but I only looked at the internet, I think, when I was about 20. So when I started university, because I think I got the same thing as you, like secondary school, like not wanting sex, and people found it really weird, and they were like, "Oh, why don't you want sex? Why don't you?" And
Exactly.
all that. But I just kind of thought everyone else was playing it up a bit.
Yeah. I felt exactly the same. I thought it was a
So
joke at one point.
yeah, and like that was just one of many things that people were like at me for. So I was just like, yeah, I don't really care. Um, and it never bothered me. So, but yeah, then I did look it up at some point. Just I think one night I was just like, huh, is it weird that I don't like sex? But
When you're
yeah,
at university, that was
yeah. I think in between first and second year, so
second
I'd
year.
have been around 20. Yeah.
That's really weird because in between first and second year was when I made my first video. So it's just, imagine.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Hmm.
So how old are you now?
Um,
That
23.
23.
23, yeah. But yes, next question. Did you find out about heteroromanticism and, like, I guess, split attraction, that kind of thing, at the same time you found out about asexuality?
Uh, yeah, I sort of saw asexuality as a broad term, and then that sort of made me delve into it a lot deeper. So I did
Hmm.
find out all about the subcategories and heteromanticism, and that's why I thought this is me. This defines as me, because when I saw it
Yeah.
initially, it was like you said about how a lot of people, about aromanticism, and I'm like, no, it's not. That there's, I do still feel attraction, so I delved deeper, and then I found heteroromanticism, and I was just like, bingo, that was me. So yeah, I did find it out about the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know when I first found out about asexuality was I didn't look into it enough to know about like different romantic orientations as well. So it's like I kind of feel asexual, but I also like guys, but I don't want to sleep with them. So yeah, and it took me a while to like put those together and be like, wait, I can be both. Um, and yeah,
Yeah. I think because it's just not talked about,
cool.
the fact that we have to find it out ourselves online, and like it's just
Yeah,
spoken about at all in school. It wasn't at all in my school. Even when I came out to people, and this was going back 7 years ago,
mm,
um, nobody knew what it was, or nobody knew the definition, even asexuality, let alone the subcategories. Whereas now I think there
yeah,
is more awareness, which is really great. So a lot more
mm,
people, when I came out, a lot more people know about it, which is great that it's come so far in such a small amount of time. And hopefully, given another 5-10 years, then it'll just be one of those like normal, regular things that people just know about, really.
yeah, totally. I mean, I think the time we're in now, we're kind of living through it, breaking through into the I get public consciousness more so, um, which is really exciting. Um, Capitalize on it by making videos.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, who would do that? Weirdos, surely.
so I guess next thing is how do you feel about your romantic and your sexual orientations and how they like interact with each other? So do you see them as separate? Do you see them as the same thing? Do you relate to one more than the other? That sort of thing.
um, it's interesting. I see them as sort of the similar thing, but
Mm.
then that's simply because I don't have much of a sexual orientation, I guess, and a
Yeah,
sexual feeling. So, when I do find someone attractive and stuff, then I feel like I would want to get somewhat physical. Then that's sort of, to me, that they do sort of. I'm not wording this well at all, but there is a link there. That if I form an emotional attachment to someone, and like with girlfriends in the past, etc. Once I form that connection, then that definitely, the romantic side definitely combines with how I want to be physically with them as well.
mm. Yeah. I think for me, it's maybe brought on by the fact that the gay community is so heavily sexualized.
It's
I
true.
find it difficult to relate to that. So while I like um, present as gay to most people because I don't want to explain asexuality to every rando I come across, um, I I find that I relate more heavily to my asexuality in that aspect of my orientation. Following on from that discussion of orientations, I had a couple of questions about dating in the broader sense. So I'd be curious to know if you dated before you found out you're asexual.
No, I didn't date at all before finding out. I mean, I wanted to, and I wanted to.
Mm.
There was always that urge to like have a girlfriend and sort of not even in the sense of to fit in with my friends, but also I did want that for myself. Thought that would be really nice, and like I
Yeah.
love having somebody that I'd be close to and like be able to go on adventures with and do stuff with, without the sexual side. But then I like kissing, I like hugs and being intimate in that sense. So I always wanted
Mm.
that before I even knew what asexuality was. But it wasn't until I actually found out I was asexual where I actually went on dates. I think that my nerves sort of took over from beforehand, and then afterwards I sort of matured a bit, and then became more independent and realized that I could do this, and then started dating after that.
Mm. Yeah. Do you think it was it at all because you knew you didn't want sex that you like didn't date as much, or
I don't think it was. I think it was just because of my confidence and just sort of
yeah?
I knew in school I was heavily bullied, and
Mm.
because of my appearance and because of how I was, and I just didn't have that confidence to ever like even ask a girl on a date or even consider that. So
Yeah.
I did want it, but there was never any sort of confidence there for me to pursue anything. So I just didn't do that beforehand, and then over time that I sort of gained confidence and then felt better about myself once I got to university, and then I had my first girlfriend when I was in my third year at university. So.
Mm. Yeah, I think because I didn't date at all before finding out I was ace because I worked out that I was gay and asexual at the same time. Because I really didn't think it was a possibility to be like gay about sex, like I was saying earlier.
Did you think you were
Um,
straight beforehand?
no, I just well, if I knew the words for it, I probably would have thought I was aromantic.
Gotcha.
Um, but I think that's mainly because I grew up in quite a conservative area. Um, so I think I maybe suppressed it because gay would have just been another thing for people to like tease me for,
I got you.
which is unfortunate that it's like that in some places. But hopefully, it's better now. It
Yeah,
should
it's a
be.
lot better. I was just about to say that it seems like, especially as I grew up through the years, that it's got a lot better in such a short amount of time because of that, and people making videos like this, and a lot more people that are well known and celebrities come out as gay or come out as part of LGBTQ plus, and it gives those people, gives everyone role models, but not only that, but for straight people to think actually these celebrities are pretty cool and they're gay.
Mm.
It sort of gives them that it's not a bad thing, and it's not that there shouldn't be any stigma attached to it. And I think over time a lot more people are getting accepted for that, whereas like you say, in school it was the same in my school. Someone was gay, they were teased. Gay was used as an insult. If somebody
Yeah, yeah.
you class as gay, but it was used in passing, and there was a lot of disregard to that. But it still could be quite hurtful to a lot of people.
Definitely. I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that LGBT plus representation isn't only important for LGBT plus people, but it's important to normalize to straight people.
Precisely. Yeah. Exactly. You're exactly right there.
Because if they see like a gay person like on TV or a celebrity who's gay, like you were saying, then it will seem like less different, I guess. And I think that's probably where the majority of homophobia or acephobia or transphobia comes from, is not really understanding something and like not necessarily being afraid, but not tolerating it because of that. Did finding out about asexuality change your opinion on dating at all?
It made me more. Again, it it made it harder for me in the sense that
Hmm.
I felt so alone in the like, and so different to everybody else and
Yeah.
marginalized in that sense. So I thought, oh, nobody's gonna understand. And because when I found out sex was so prominent amongst my peers and my friends, and just at that age, you know, just people just have sex like crazy. It seems, and it's a
Yeah.
big topic of conversation amongst my friends as well. And because I didn't like that, I thought, you know, people aren't going to like me because I'm not. And to some extent I was right, and when I started dating that was a huge problem because
Mm.
so that did change my view on dating, and it changed, you know. I was really worried, and I still am worried when I go in to, you know, if I go on a date with somebody, yeah, how are they going to perceive me once I tell them, because I've had so many times in the past where girls have left on like the third date or even beforehand because they found out this, and then
Yeah.
a lot of them that believe they can like sort of change you or like make you want to
Yeah.
have it, and it's so common. And like even after a long relationship, I remember when I broke up with my girlfriend, she said that, you know, she wished that she could change me in the end, and I was just like, you serious? Like after like however long we were together, it was just it's really gutting, and it does play on your mind a lot.
Yeah. It's the thing that gets to me is that someone can like you for so many reasons, but there's this, it feels like sometimes there's this one part of you that you can't change that can ruin the majority of relationships, and that can be very disheartening, I suppose. Um, so I definitely understand you in that sense.
If you would you change it if somebody gave you the option now, Daniel, you can be, you know, not asexual, you can actually like sex from here on out. Would you take that? Would you take him up on that?
I wish I could just say a definitive no, but no, I wouldn't change it. But I'm sure there are some days when, yes,
You feel it?
yeah, I would
It's
just be
sort of like
like,
choice
it,
to.
yeah, my life would be so much easier in some ways if I
Yeah,
wasn't asexual. But then I feel like I'd be a very different person as well, because
yeah.
asexuality is like a big part of my personality, um, and has been like growing up. So if I'm level-headed, then I wouldn't want to change it.
And you wouldn't have this YouTube channel either. It's...
That's true.
oh,
Um,
neither of us would. Let's just say that.
so I guess because obviously you've had these experiences where people have, I guess, rejected you because of your asexuality. Have you ever? Do you tend to just date anyone, or are you now, because of those experiences, more looking towards dating other asexuals?
Um, I've covered this in a video of mine.
Yeah,
Because it is a really interesting topic, and um, it's hard enough. I think if I just solely went out and wanted to date asexuals, I think it's just an impossible task,
mm,
because we're such a minute, you know, part of the population, and then you've got
yeah,
to. If I was to date someone, I'd need to, you know, obviously date another heteroromantic or biromantic who's
yeah,
interested in me, and I'd need to be interested in them. But then that's not just, you know, everything. It's not just someone else that's asexual. It's also someone else that we have similar things in common. You know, that we're both attracted to each other. That
mm,
and all of these things. And to think that that's hard enough to date heterosexual people like that.
yeah,
You put it to only 1% of the population or less than that are the same sexuality as you. It's even harder to find people like that. So I think it's just an impossible task to actually, you know, aim to date people like that. And I think
mm,
um, so I've never really considered that, and I'm happy dating heterosexuals, and that's all I've ever done really. And I've got used to the fact that I won't get accepted by all of them, and that it will end, because I'm sort of like, because it's happened so much, I've sort of internalized that, and sort of, right, this could happen. And then when it doesn't happen, then it's even more like powerful, because it's like, they actually really like me, you know, and it actually
Yeah,
means much. So I kind of like that.
yeah. I think the best thing is when you tell someone who you're like going on a date with or interested in dating that you're asexual, and they're like, meh, or like
Exactly.
that's fine, and you're just like, oh, this is so amazing, I want to
I know,
cry.
because it's so yeah, it's so unheard of, I guess. Well, it's just not that common. Well, it hasn't been with me anyway. So I
Yeah.
completely agree.
Mm.
So, have you been on many dates yourself?
Um, Not particularly. Which I probably shouldn't say because people ask me dating questions, and I'm like, I'm not really qualified to answer this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple of like boyfriends, but
Yeah.
outside of that, I haven't done much dating. Uh, I mean, recently I did a video. I started recently doing some online dating, going on different apps, and generally the reception, because I put asexual front and center on my profile, the reception to that has been quite positive. But there's a difference between someone like messaging you and saying, yeah, that's fine, and actually going on a date
Actually being
and dating someone and then being okay with that in a long-term relationship. So
very, very true.
mm,
And that's something that I've experienced as well. And my second girlfriend, you know, from saying like you say at the start, it's not a problem, it'll be absolutely fine. To, um, 2 months into that, saying actually, I'm really need sex. Let's just say that, and they actually,
yeah,
and it's just like I knew this was be the case, and then it sucks because you've invested so much time and you've grown this sort of attachment for it all to be ruined because again of your sexuality. It's really annoying.
yeah, I had that before where it's like
Well,
I've been in a relationship of well, over a year,
over a
and
year,
then
wow.
yeah, and then suddenly it's like, um, yeah, but I do actually want sex. And I'm like, and the problem is because I was willing to have sex to compromise, um, but that isn't always sufficient either because I can have sex, but I can't want sex.
Yeah,
So I can't be like emotionally invested in it, and that is important for some people. So I'm just going prepping the
it's all right.
Twitter questions if I can remember my login. Would you be okay to answer some random questions?
Absolutely, yeah. Fire them at me.
Okay, the Ace and Me asked, are there any other kinds of attraction you feel? If so, how do you differentiate between them, or do they usually coincide? So I guess like aesthetic and sensual attraction, that sort of thing.
Hugely, yeah. Aesthetic attraction all the time, and I get
Mm.
that, and I can appreciate that, especially um, towards if I see a girl on a street and I don't even know them, I can say, yeah, she's hot, she's really attractive,
Yeah,
or anything like that. It's still really really common, and I feel that sort of I feel included in that sense, and like I can go to my friends and we can sort of relate in that sense, and I go to them,
mm,
oh, she's really hot, or this girl's really nice, and
yeah,
that's of what brings me in to more of the heterosexual side, and I feel more like I belong.
yeah,
That's quite nice, and I'm really glad that I sort of feel like that as well. And I
mm,
sort of understand it without having to like force myself to have sex or anything. It's nice that this is actually a genuine emotion that I actually feel.
mm. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, like you were saying, in terms of aesthetic attraction, I'm the same as any other gay guy. See a hot guy, I'd be like,
Yeah.
damn.
Damn. Yeah.
Um,
Not to them, like directly, just damn. It's like, okay, what are you gonna do? That's it.
yeah, that's it. Just like
It's
you're really hot.
worth wasting
You
your
want
time.
to? Yeah. Do you want to do anything with me? No,
No,
not really.
just damn.
Yeah. Same person, Ace and Me, asks. I know it's different for everyone, but what do you feel when you're romantically attracted to someone? It's a difficult
It
question.
depends. It depends how strong that connection is, I guess, and whether
Mm,
it's because I've been, it is romantic attraction in the sense that I really fancy someone, and then but it's not reciprocated, and there's nothing there and nothing's going to happen. And then there's also romantic attraction where you're with somebody or go on dates and you both feel the same. So
Yeah.
it feels nice, and it does, especially when you're going through a lot, and to have someone that you feel that strongly to, it is really, really nice, and I love having that sort of feeling. But then on the flip side, it is really hurtful, and it sucks so much, and it really makes you feel horrible inside if you break up or if you stop seeing each other, which is why going back to the dating scenarios earlier, when they say actually you're asexual, I'm not comfortable with that, I don't want to pursue this any longer. That's why it's hard telling somebody like further down the line, because you might have already formed this sort of like romantic and emotional connection.
Yeah.
It's just hard to let go of that sometimes. Just like any heterosexual or homosexual person, they sort of have the same. They're not just all about sex either. That they can form romantic attractions exactly the same. So I sort of relate in that sense.
It's really hard to describe in terms of what it feels like. It just makes you happy, I guess.
Yeah, it does. It really makes you happy.
And for me personally, romantic attraction is quite linked to sensual attraction. So I will just hug someone if I like them,
100%.
and just like grab them and never let go, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it sounds very similar. There is a lot of similarities to this, to be fair.
Yeah. Chemical Clowns, interesting name, asked, what is your personal definition of romantic asexual?
Romantic, so not heteromantic or homo-romantic.
Just romantic in general, like allo-romantic.
Romantic asexual, I would say, is somebody that doesn't have any sexual attraction or sexual connection to anyone, but still has a romantic connection or romantic attraction.
Yeah.
In brief, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. And yes, and then Derek, who I did an interview with a few weeks ago, asked the heavy question. Do you have an opinion on political representation of the ace and aro community in its present form? For example, do you mind that many governments offer incentives to married couples and families through tax breaks that individuals and unmarried couples can't receive?
Next question. I don't know how to answer that. I think I'm too naive in that sense. And
yeah, I'm sorry, Keith, but I saw that question and I'm like, this is a bit of a tricky one. Yeah, I guess this.
It's a good question, though. Don't get me
More
wrong.
representation. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I just don't think either of us are particularly qualified to answer. I think that was all the questions. I only got a few because I only asked it like a couple of hours ago. It's a question which I didn't put on the list of questions because I forgot until a few minutes ago. But it's a question that I have to ask everyone who comes on this channel as a thing. So what is your favorite type of cake?
My favorite, it is a coffee and walnut cake.
That sounds horrible. I'm sorry.
See, that's where we differ. That's the one difference.
Cake preferences.
Cake preferences. Coffee and walnut. Yeah, definitely.
Ugh. Is it a strong coffee taste?
Huh?
Is it a strong coffee taste?
Yeah, somewhat, but I like that.
I can't stand coffee in any form.
Oh, really? Okay. One of my favorite ice cream is the same about coffee ice cream. I love it.
That's really interesting. Yeah, no, I like carrot cake.
I like carrot cake as well. I love carrot cake. I love really cinnamony carrot cake.
Yeah. Now I'm hungry again. I'm already into. That's the problem of asking this question. I should always have a snack prepared. Just have cake. And then just like, oh, I've got one right here. Yeah, but cool. I think that's all we're going to cover today. Is there anything else in particular you wanted to say?
Not really. I really enjoyed it though. I really like the experience because it makes you reflect a lot on the past and brings up a lot of things that you're just like, oh, I completely forgot about that. But it's really good to talk about, and I think it'll be good for everyone to watch it as well because I think a lot of people relate and to have somewhat similar but then also quite different views, and it shows that there are a lot of similarities between uh, you know homo-romantics and heteroromantics are all the same. Whereas amongst the sexual community, there tends to be. Well, I think I said it at the start of this video. People who are heterosexual believe that people who are homosexual are like the opposites, and stuff like that. So to show that there's so much similarity between the two, really is I think a really good message.
Yeah, definitely. Because like you said, there is this divide. When really fundamentally the only difference is what one likes guys and one likes girls. Like it doesn't. It doesn't.
The same sex, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't make a significant difference to anything. But yeah, it was really nice having you on.
Thank you.
It's fun chatting to you. It doesn't feel like it's been 40 minutes.
No, it has gone really fast. I couldn't have said it.
If you want to watch any videos on Alex's channel, go check it out. It's in the description. And yeah, if you want me to, is there anything else you want me to plug?
This my channel's enough. I think I link most of my social media and things in my own videos. So if you like what you see there and you want to chat or you want to talk to me about anything, perhaps you're hetero romantic yourself and you might have any issues, then I'm happy to chat. I always chat to people. Feel free to leave any comments on my videos. Recently, haven't done as much asexual content as I used to. I uploaded a video yesterday or the day before yesterday that done really well, and I'm really thankful for the support on that. So, if you want like a more recent, variation, I did because I went traveling for 2 months over the summer, so I did a video on how asexuality was and like how me coming out as asexual to people from Norway, to people from Sweden, to people from Malta, and how they perceived me when I came out as asexual. So it's quite an interesting video. If you want to check that out, you're welcome to. So I appreciate.
I put it on watch later. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
will do.
No, it's enjoy it.
Thanks. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. I post videos every Saturday, so if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. That is all I had to say today. Have a wonderful day, and I shall see you next time.